Morning. Oh, I'm telling you. Waking up this morning was so, so nice. Waking up to the gentle singing of the birds. I mean, I have never appreciated the sound of waking up to birds singing so much as I did this morning. Because I haven't heard birds in a really long time. You know, I've been in Colorado for like, 7, 8 years, 7 years, 8 years, something like that. So I moved there when I was 43, turning 44, and I'm 52 now. And I left Colorado last year when I was 51, right? Yeah, 51. So from, right before I turned 44, so 43-ish, 44-ish to 51. So that's what, 7 years, I think. But being up in Colorado, it's high desert. They just don't have the same wildlife there that you have here on the East Coast in Virginia, especially. I mean, I don't know about a lot of other states. But waking up to the sound of the birds, and you don't get that really too much when you live in the city. So when I first came back here, I was living in the city first with my daughter, and the houses are like so close together you can almost stand between them and extend your arms and touch each house. That's how close the houses are together. They're not, I mean, that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but not by much, believe me. They're really close together. I've never lived anywhere where the houses were quite so close together, but I'm sure in bigger cities, major cities, they're even closer. But having houses so close together, and then moving to my stepdaughter's where the houses actually were even closer together than my actual daughter's house. It's just, there's a lot of cement, and everything. There's just not a lot of places for birds to be, there's not places for birds to collect seeds, and there's not a lot of trees, not a lot of grass, people treating their yards, it's just, so you don't wake up to hearing the birds. I love hearing the birds. I saw my first cardinal yesterday for the first time in like 8 years. you know I tried to get a picture of it, but by the time I grabbed my phone, of course, he flew off. But it was so pretty. I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just saw a cardinal. I haven't seen a cardinal in so long. I love hearing the songbirds in the morning. And I hear all the traffic out there on the road, because even though I'm in the country right now, but it's not like country. I mean, it is, but like where I was living at in Colorado, my neighbor, I could see my clearest neighbor, but they were probably a quarter mile away and over the hill. It's like across the field, and there's a hill. I could see the roof of their house because it kind of, in a depression in the earth, so to speak. And here, there's a neighbor there. And then this yard, this is, my sister-in-law lives, and then there's another house right next door. And there's a house over across the street, but the houses are not very close together. I mean, there's a good amount of yard space in between, which is nice, but closer than the houses were in Colorado, and closer than the houses are in the country in West Virginia. This is the country in Virginia. So, and then this particular area, you know, it's probably, I don't know, it's probably, uh, it's really hard for me to, determine distances, but, I would say maybe, 100 feet in between from where I'm at in the yard to the next house, because there's still space on the other side, before you get to the house. So it's probably 200 feet in between houses, I suppose, if you measured it out. Which is decent. But the birds. I hear the birds. I'm hearing the birds. I hear the birds. And that's something my cats are really enjoying too. My cats, they're really enjoying looking out the window, and there's a couple of bushes right here. There's like this big magnolia. I guess that's what it is. It's a magnolia bush. It's this great big huge like bush with these like really dark green shiny leaves that almost look like the leaves almost look like they're a waxy or something, like they've got a coating. I mean, they're really thick, heavy duty, dark green leaves with these great big, like pink flowers. They're about that big around all over, the bush. So I think that's a magnolia, but, I could be wrong. I don't know much about horticulture, but, I can barely recognize an oak tree when I see it. And know the difference between an oak tree and a pine tree, and a spruce tree, a pinyon pine nut tree, I know a few trees, but I don't really know that many. That's something I was always interested in when I was a kid, but I used to ask a lot of questions, and people used to just brush me off, Stop asking so many questions, or just gotta have faith. Faith in what? You can't have faith in something you don't understand. You don't have like idea in your brain of what it is. Something is when you're a kid and you're asking questions, and I don't know. I guess they expect things to, come to you through like the permeable membrane, or like meiosis or something. Or osmosis. That's what it is. Osmosis. You're just going through the membrane, and it just automatically comes into fruition or whatever, as you mature. But it didn't really happen with me too much. I kept the same questions because I just didn't understand. Oops. Okay, temperature check. I had my heater on low last night because it was actually pretty warm in here. It was pretty much in the 70s, and right now it's 70 degrees inside. But it's, to be fair, it's in the 50s outside right now, which is pretty darn good. So I didn't have to turn my heater up to high, so that helped conserve some of my propane. I need to get a gauge for that because I have no idea how much I'm using. I have no idea how fast the propane is going because I don't know. I don't have a way to determine how much propane is still in the tank. So I need to get a gauge or something to go on there that'll help me know when it's getting close to time to, running out or whatever. Like, I would hate to run out of propane in the middle of the night on a cold night. You know what I'm saying? and no way to go get anymore because every place is closed, you know. We'd still be warm. It's not, you know, we would still be warm. I have a down feather comforter here. And believe me, it is nice and toasty underneath a down feather comforter. I don't care how cold it is outside, I will be warm. So that part's nice. Yesterday I finished putting the second coat of primer on my screen door and on the front door, inside front door. I primed the whole bottom underneath of my cabinet area where my cabinets are going to be, in the kitchen area. So that's all been primed. So now I can, you know, put some stuff down there, you know, move some stuff from underneath here, and, you know, because I need to prime the midsection, but I've got so much stuff in the way. I need to, like, keep moving things around. Yeah, power lasted a little bit longer yesterday. You know, I didn't run my critters' water fountain at all yesterday, so they just had regular water bowl. They didn't have their water fountain running because I was trying to charge up the batteries. So I just had my refrigerator plugged in and my laptop plugged in so my laptop could charge. And so after I got done painting and all that stuff last night and got tired and decided it was time to take a break and get out my Star Trek, start vegging out on Star Trek, you know. Then I, you know, started trying to do something with my hair because, you know, my hair's a hot mess right now, y'all, because I've been in here for a few days and I haven't been taking care of my hair. I mean, I washed it the other day, but, you know, a couple times, you know, probably at least once a week, I need to take the hook and go through each one and pull all the strands back in, all the loose strands back in. So I have to do that at least once a week to keep it looking somewhat decent, you know. I love having my dreads, but at the same time, I don't want to be a hot mess, you know. Because a lot of people have, you know, preconceived notions with people with dreadlocks and all that other stuff. And, you know, I'm trying to have a neater appearance, I guess. Plus, you know, I like them to be a little bit neater, you know. It's my own personal preference. I guess if I didn't mind them being like super messy, and then I wouldn't really care. But, you know, I kind of like to have them a little bit tighter, and, you know, I do come from, you know, an area, family members, all that stuff that would very much look down on my hair or think it's odd or whatever. But I like it. It means something to me. It feels like me. And we're in that process of self-discovery where we are doing the things that feel good to us, right? To me, to I. I need to feel good. I need to be happy. So yeah. Cats are chilling out. You know, Venus is in front of the heater right now. She slept in the bed with me all night long last night underneath the covers like she usually does. Scamp's happy chilled out on the floor last night. Malusha's, I think, slept up on the cat tree mostly. Well, actually, she slept on my legs quite a bit. You know, there was quite a few times I couldn't move my legs because, you know, she's laying across my legs, which is fine. I love the fact that she likes to lay on me, but she's a heavy cat. She's such a big cat. And of course, that's comparative to Venus, who's hairless, you know, but, you know, hairless, you know, Venus to me is just a normal sized cat, you know, just regular normal sized cat. And then I got Malusha. And Malusha is a good 3 or 4 pounds heavier than Venus, who is significantly older. But Venus this year has put on some weight too. She's starting to pork out a little bit. You know, she's getting that big old belly that a lot of Sphinx cats gets, even though she's only half Sphinx. But she's what you call an elf. So an elf is Sphinx mixed with American curl. And she's my baby. I love her. I got her after my last kid moved out. Felt kind of weird being home alone with no kids at home, you know. It's like, what do you do when you've been a mom your whole life and then all of a sudden your kids all move out? They're all grown and they're all out on their own, living their own lives. And then you're left sitting there by yourself with a bunch of cats and a dog. You know? So, and some chickens. I had a bunch of chickens back then too, but I don't have my chickens right now. I had to leave them in Colorado. So many things I had to leave in Colorado. It kind of sucks, but it is what it is. You know, I guess you learn what you need and what you don't need as time moves on, and you know, you're put to the test, right? So I guess we're being put to the test. We're being put to the test of finding your way, finding your true self, you know, trying to get our mental health in order. You know, I'm gonna work on the rest of my hair today. So I got this pulled up right here, so this is the undone part. I started it last night. I started cleaning it up last night, so I got this little bit done down here, but I got tired because I was painting a lot yesterday, a long time, and I got tired. Tired. And so I need to go and do a second coat on that wall over there. And then after that, I gotta start moving stuff that way so I can do the midsection. And then I'll do the back section, you know. And kind of gotta find a place to, you know, way to do the floor also. But when I go to do the floor, I have to get Scamp up off the floor. And I lay him up here in my bed because he has a tendency of being right where you don't want him to be. Right where you're working, that's where he lays down, you know. And he's old. He's an old dog. He's a geriatric dog, you know. So he just flops around. You pick him up and he goes limp. He goes limp on you. And he's heavy. He's 40 pounds. It's getting harder and harder for me to pick him up and carry him around. So he's heavy. You know, he's 15 though. He's 15 years old. And he's been a great companion. He really has. Really, really been a great companion. So, yeah, here we are, having our morning cup of coffee. I love you more. That's a pretty awesome cup of coffee. I like this coffee cup. This was such a great thrift store find. It was just what I needed, actually. So, I'm going to be trying to make videos like this every day. You know, my therapist, I see her again tomorrow, but she kept kind of pushing me to do some YouTube videos and stuff because she feels like I have a lot to say. she's like, you have a lot to say. And I guess so. And I mostly kept quiet. People don't really hear a lot of what I have to say because honestly, I kind of tend to throw people for a loop with the way I think about things, I guess. I'm not typical. I'm atypical. Like, thought processes, and how I, relate to the world. But, it's alright. It is what it is. So, maybe I'll help somebody else out there. Somebody else can relate to my story, relate to what I'm going through, relate to how my brain works. Maybe your brain works the same way. Who knows? You know, follow me through this adventure. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, so power went out again last night, but I was already in bed when it happened. So it really wasn't that big a deal. I got to watch my Star Trek, as much as I wanted until I was tired. And, which was great. Yay me. And then it really wasn't like 10 minutes after I laid down that the battery bank alarm went off. So I had to get up and turn it off and then go back to bed. It's okay. I guess I'm going to have to start turning that off when I go to bed, just so I don't have to get back up out of the bed. As things happen, I'm learning to, I guess adjust or sort of to all the nuances of camper living and being self-sufficient. Because I'm in my sister-in-law's driveway, and I'm not connected to anything in the house. This is kind of like a trial run, so to speak. I want to deal with everything that I need to deal with, anything that might come up while I'm in the safety of somebody's driveway, where if I need help, I can go get it. So this is me learning to live in a camper next to someone that can help me if I need it, but me at the same time trying to not ask for any help, because I want to be self-sufficient and I want to be able to do this on my own. I need to figure out how to live the way I want to live so that I don't have to live the way society wants me to live, because I just can't stomach it. I can't live the way society wants me to live. I cannot do it. Everything in my being prevents me from living that way. It's just the anxiety of having to deal with so many people on a daily basis, and having to go to work, and having to drive through traffic, and having to deal with, customer issues and manager issues, and I don't know, just stuff in general. Just whatever the stuff happens in regular, normal, everyday life for everybody else, that everybody else is okay with and can manage just fine, and I cannot, because I don't like being around that many people, to be honest with you. It gives me a headache. It gives me a headache. It gives me a lot of anxiety. I can't contribute to conversations because I don't have anything in common with the general public. I don't follow foreign I don't know, events. I don't follow what's going on with celebrities. I don't give two shits about celebrities, to be honest with you. What do I care if they're people? The only, if I want to go watch a movie, I hope the movie's good. I hope the actors are good. But what those people do in their private lives, away from the camera, I don't give two shits about. I could care less. It's none of my business how they live. So long as they're not hurting anybody, I don't really care. Now if they're hurting somebody, then I care, and cause that's just not cool. You shouldn't be hurting people. And that's kind of my philosophy on life. So long as you're not hurting anybody, you're not messing up anybody's property, you're not, contributing to mayhem or whatever in any way. You should be left to live alone, to your own devices, the way you want to live. I'm out here on my own with my cats and my dog, and I'm not hurting anybody. What I do doesn't affect anybody but me. So, here we are. Trying to live in a way that makes me feel good. you know, to where I'm not having to be so stressed out all the time, not having to have meltdowns because I can't function in society, because people say mean things and cruel things to each other, and then that upsets me, and then, I don't know, I'm a crier. I cry a lot. Whenever, you know, my feelings get hurt easily, and nobody has time for that. Society doesn't care about that. They don't want to have anything to do with, you know, my feelings. They don't want to have to, you know, walk on eggshells, so to speak, you know, because somebody might hurt my feelings. So it's probably best that I limit my availability to society so that I don't have to worry about any of that shit, you know? And just let me live in peace out here on my own, simply. Once I get everything set up and get me some shelves and everything built, you know, because I've got ideas like, you know, this section over here is going to be my art studio, you know, place to do my paintings and have my art supplies. Right now I have my art supplies in a couple of carts, but I figure once I complete this section over here and get some shelves built, I can move all my art supplies from there to here so they're easily accessible and I can see them. And then I can work on whatever paintings I want to work on that wall right there, because honestly, this is really the only place in this camper that I have that I can do art, that has a good enough wall without a window in it that I can use to hang my paintings on while I'm doing them. So that's what I'm going to do. And then this section over here is going to be, this is my sleeping area. It's where I'm going to have all my nighttime stuff, you know, personal stuff, you know, I don't know, journals, books, whatever I want to be reading well before I go to bed at night, you know, my place to keep my water bottle, you know, stuff like that, you know. The kitchen is going to be over there. I have a little seating area right here, so when I have company, I have some place to sit. And it's going to be nice. It's going to be nice and cozy. And underneath, you know, I need to get some dresser drawers or something, so I have a place to put my clothes, because right now they're just in bins. I have 2 bins down there with my clothes in them, you know, and I'd like to get them into some drawers or something. I'd like them to be a little bit more organized, easily accessible, to where I can open a drawer and see what I have, as opposed to having to dig through to find what I'm looking for. Because that's a pain in the butt, honestly. It's a little bit frustrating having to go under there and pull everything out to get to a bin, and pull a bin out to find something to put on for the day. So we'll work on that later, and then have my section for the kitty box and my section for tools and place to keep finished art and stuff like that underneath. You know, because eventually I'd like to, you know, maybe start selling some, but I have to get there first, and I'm not there. I'm still learning my craft. I just started doing art a year ago, after I got out of the mental hospital, the psych ward. You know, well, I was kind of started doing some art while I was in the psych ward, you know, coloring or whatever, and everybody there kept telling me how great an artist I was, and I never considered myself an artist, but for some reason everybody liked my coloring, and they thought my coloring was very unique in the way I match colors together and all that, you know, so, you know, because I'm not afraid of color. I will put some stuff together just to see what it looks like, you know, even if it's not normally colors that go together. I will put them together just to see, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, but how are you gonna know if you don't experiment, right? How are you gonna know if you don't try it out? You can always change it, you know. It doesn't need to be perfect. Nothing needs to be perfect. I don't do anything for perfection. I am sick and tired of having to meet perfectionist ideals. That's been like one of the banes of my existence. Everybody expecting perfection from me, and I cannot deliver. It puts so much stress and anxiety on me, having to meet people's personal perfection expectations. When I'm just happy if I completed the task and it looks decent and it's functional. Can I use it? Does it work? Um, you know, do I like the way it looks? I'm like, oh, cool. Do I have pride? Do I feel pride in my accomplishment of what I created? You know, if all that meets my criteria, hey, I'm happy. But, that's not the way it is for most people. They want everything to be perfect, and I'm not perfect. My house isn't perfect. My art's not perfect. But life's not perfect. Real life isn't perfect. There's all kinds of variances. There's so many things that, are different. So, anyway, I guess I should get off here and get to work. I'm running up here on 30 some minutes now. So, this video is going to take forever to upload because ran it too long, but that's the way it is. I was going to try to do a go live video to see if I could do that and to see if it would be easier for me to get videos up on YouTube. But, because I'm new on here, I don't meet the criteria to go live. It won't let me go live. So I have to keep uploading videos and then just do them and upload them and see what happens. So I guess maybe one day, I'll be able to go live, try that out. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. Anyway, so here we are. Another day. Another day, another day, another day in the camper. And it's all good. It's going to be okay. Gonna do some painting, gonna do some organizing, gonna move some stuff around, listen to my tunes, and have a happy day. Yay, y'all. Alright, bye-bye now. Talk to you later.